Well, hey, church, it's Pastor Tim here, and I get to take a minute to be with you and just update you. You know, a few months ago, I did one of these videos updating you on how we were moving into our First Pres Lives Here plan and moving into Phase 1. Well, July 12th, we moved into Phase 2. And friends, here we are. We're still in this. We're still fighting off this virus, and we're still worshiping at home. But we have moved into, as of July 12th, Phase 2 of our First Pres Lives Here plan. And what has that meant? That's meant that some people are comfortable. They're doubling up their worship sizes. They're hosting others and worshiping together in their homes. And they're sharing what they have learned about worshiping alone. And now they're worshiping with some others. We've had Vacation Bible School and had Backyard VBS that went great. We've started to do memorial services here in the building. We welcome the staff back into the building. And we even had a celebration of ordination of one of our freshest pastors in the sanctuary. We've had people doing small group things in the building. We've had family ministry happening in backyards and small outings and parks. Global Leadership Summit. We had that planned for this week, and we welcomed staff back into the building during Phase 2. But we've had to change plans again. Even just Friday night, Mayor Suthers and other leaders of the city asked if organizations in Colorado Springs, including churches, would please telecommute as much as possible. We're cooperating with that. We asked our staff to change their meetings that were going to be in person to go back to an online posture for a couple of weeks. We were going to do Global Leadership Summit together as a staff here in our building. We've sent everyone home. We said we're going to watch that online, and we're going to talk about it together later on. Friends, we're cooperating. We want to help. We want to push the numbers down so that we can get ready to open schools. And as a church, that's our posture. I know it's frustrating. I know it's frustrating to wear a mask and to worship at home, to be separated. I know it's frustrating to watch other churches doing different things and wonder, when is First Pres going to do these things that I'm seeing in other places? Listen, I want you to know, your staff and I, we've been working hard on getting ready to be back together physically in a safe way. I've been working hard with other leaders in the city, other pastors. I actually participated in writing and sending the variants under which churches are gathering in our county. We did that through Cause I Love You and through a network of other leadership and pastors working together. But friends, our role as a church, I want you to understand this. Our role from the very inception of First Pres is to be a partner with our city. Our church started within 2 weeks of the city of Colorado Springs filing its paperwork with the Colorado Territories. We have always been, Christ has called us to be, a pillar that our city can lean on. We move thoughtfully, deliberately, and cooperatively. Every Sunday, friends, that we set aside our preferences in order to defend the health and well-being of others. Every Sunday that we don't do what we want, but we defend the health of our city, listen to me. That's a Sunday where we grow in credibility for the gospel. I want you to be in partnership with me on this. Every Sunday that we set aside our personal preferences for the well-being of our city, we are light and life for the city, and our ability to share the gospel with non-believers grows. Hey, we could do things to just please Christians, but God's called us to be here as a pillar for our city to lean on, as a cooperative body, playing along with the well-being and the flourishing of the citizens of Colorado Springs. Every day we put away our personal preferences and we serve others, our credibility grows with the gospel. 1 Peter 2:11-15 says this, "Dear friends, I urge you, as foreigners and exiles, to abstain from sinful desires which wage war against your soul. Live such good lives among the pagans," that's not my word, "among the pagans, that though they accuse you of doing wrong, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day he visits us. Submit yourselves to the Lord, for the Lord's sake, to every human authority, whether to the emperor as the supreme authority or to governors who are sent by him to punish those who do wrong, to commend those who do right. For it is God's will that by doing good you should silence the ignorant talk of foolish people." Every day we set aside our personal preferences. I want to be together as much as you do. And we cooperate with what our authorities are asking us to do. We silence ignorant talk. We gain credibility for the gospel. So what am I asking? Friends, I know it's hard. I know it's super hard. It reminds me of Psalm 137, when the people of God were in exile and said, "By the rivers of Babylon we sat and wept when we remembered Zion. There on the poplars we hung our harps." You know, we couldn't play our instruments. "For there our captors asked us for songs. Our tormentors demanded songs of joy. They said, 'Sing us one of the songs of Zion.' How can we sing the songs of the Lord while in a foreign land?" I know it hurts your heart. It hurts my heart. That it feels like we can't come into the place where we sing our songs. We can't go to that place, that land. We're in an exile. And we feel, how can I sing? How can I sing? How can I sing my songs at home? Listen, during this season, the call on us, what I'm asking you to do is to learn to worship well where you are. Where you are. See, the church has gone through this so many times in history. There have been epidemics and plagues. You can look back in Colorado Springs history to the TB camps, and you see people walking around, what? In masks, you know. We've had to do this before. I was reminded of a time when the church in the UK was shut down for a fullness of a year because of an epidemic that had spread through the island. Listen, we can do this. And what I'm asking you to do is to use these online tools. We have these tools for worship. And we can't worship for you. You know, and that's the temptation when we come into the house of the Lord, is that we come in and we let the people up front worship for us. Well, right now, that's not what we're learning. We're learning how to worship. And you're learning to take these tools up, and it's up to you. Whether you take these instruments of praise up in your place, your home, your living room, with a few other friends, and you worship the Lord or not, it's up to you. And what I'm asking you to do is to learn to worship well. Take up these tools and learn to worship well. Because you know what, church? When we come back together in strength, when we open the gates and we come flooding back into the sanctuary and the worship center, if we have learned right now to worship well, we're going to worship differently. We're going to worship with passion. We're going to worship with joy. You're going to come into church and you're going to raise up praise for the Lord, the likes of which we have not seen in our lifetime in this church. I believe that. And every Sunday that we set aside our personal preferences to serve the well-being of our fellow citizens, our brothers and sisters, our credibility to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with them grows. Please hang in there. We're in phase 2. We'll be in phase 3. At some point, we'll be able to get together with masks on. We'll be safe. Someday will be no more phases, right? Hang in there. God's teaching us something. We're going to come out of this with a strength of worship, a strength of discipleship, a readiness to serve the Lord with joy, and a platform. You just watch if First Pres doesn't have a platform for the spreading of the gospel and a credibility in this city that we need to convince those who are far from God that there's something to Jesus that they need to hear. I'm praying for you, friends. Please pray for me and the leaders as we make all these decisions. We're going to get through this. We're in phase 2. Phase 3 is on the way. God bless you.